How's it going? What's up? What's up? What's up?
What's up? I never know how to start these things, and it's always super awkward. But hey, we are here at our second listener story episode. Before we begin, how was your day?
Good. I spent most of the day studying.
Yeah, I know.
Or what seemed like most of the day studying.
I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
That was a good time. But hey, are you ready for your test on Friday?
Yeah.
Myles
I'm gonna ace it.
Test on Friday.
I'm gonna ace it.
So tune into our next episode to hear how he did.
Yeah.
Unless we record before then.
Or unless I don't want to
share the
results.
Oh, no, you're gonna do good. You're gonna do just fine.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome, honey.
How was your day today?
It was fine. Chase, thanks. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
I'm freezing. I'm freezing.
Turn the heat up.
I can't because then you complain about it being too hot.
That's true. That's true.
No, but I'm pretty sure it's this new medication that I'm on that is making me freezing all the time. And it's really annoying because I feel like I cannot get warm. I've been in a sweatshirt and leggings all day, and I've worn my slippers and everything, and I'm still really cold.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's fine.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Do you actually believe that?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You're real talkative today.
Thanks. I also don't know how to start these things, so.
That's why we're the perfect pair. Okay, let's just go ahead.
Usually it'd be like one person is good at it while the other one just stands back there, and I'm used to being the one in the background, so you gotta step it up.
Right. I mean, it is hard to live your life in my shadow, so I get that.
Yeah.
It can be really intimidating because I'm awesome.
You are awesome.
Oh, shucks.
Not that was, prompted at all for me to say that, but yeah.
It wasn't. I'm not holding a knife to his neck. Nope.
Well, no one would know that. No one would know that because audio only,
Yeah. All right, so...
Someone help me. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Before we begin, I'm just going to go ahead and be transparent here. We do have some listener stories, and by some I mean we have one listener story. But because we don't want to leave y'all hanging, we stole some from the internet.
Yeah.
Specifically from Reddit. And actually,
Reddit, yeah. I
stole them, and Myles hasn't read any of them, and I skimmed through them to make sure that they were PG-13.
Oh, okay.
So this will be fun. And I really did just skim. So some of them I'm not even sure the whole story. So
well, we'll find out.
Yeah, it'll be good.
So thanks to those anonymous Reddit users that have...
I did credit some of the usernames for some of the longer ones. There are a few towards the end that we'll get to that are kind of like one-liners that are pretty funny. And I didn't tag their username. So if you end up listening to your own story, I stole it from Reddit. It's a public forum, so I'm sorry. But also thank you.
So for our next month's listener story, please send us more stories.
No, seriously, we had so much fun last month.
We did. Those were good stories.
Yeah, even the 3 that we had were awesome. So,
and we are still new. We don't have a ton of listeners right now, but you're out there. You're out there.
Also, we are officially on YouTube. I don't think I made that announcement yet.
I don't think so.
We have
on Instagram. You did, but
yeah, we have 5 published episodes on YouTube, and tomorrow, when this episode comes out, the 6th one will also be published on YouTube.
Yes.
I'm trying to spread it out, but yeah, so if you prefer YouTube, or if you know someone who wants to listen to us but only uses YouTube, give us a shout out, refer a friend. It's there's no video. I mean, it has sound waves, which was really fun to add and learn how to do that. But we don't have any video. It's just audio. So it'd literally just be listening to a podcast through YouTube.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I think eventually we want to start doing video, but we also are planning Christmas for our 18-month-old who's not going to remember it. So therefore we spent all of our money.
Naturally, as you do.
All right. Should we begin?
Yeah.
Oh, should we read our actual listener story first, or should we save that for later?
I think we should say that one for last.
Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and start. Let me pull up the document as well. But while I'm doing that, you can go ahead and read the first, and you'll probably notice I separated them by like little tick marks. And then if I credited the name, it's at the top.
Cool.
So go ahead.
All right. So the first story we have is from Reddit user Dornenzan. I don't know if I pronounced that right.
Sure.
All right. Thank you, Dornenzan, whoever you are. All right, here we are. The memory of my family gathered around in a big circle on Christmas. I take a dog treat, dried pig ear, out of a bag for our dog, and I'm about to toss it to him when I notice it is moving in my hand. It is, in fact, covered in maggots.
Ew. Oh.
Okay. I scream, and in a fit of panic, I throw the pig ear down onto the ground in front of me, into the circle, and two things happen at once. You can see where this is going, maybe. The dog goes for the disgusting pig ear, and my entire family screams at him to stop. And when the thing hits the ground, the maggots bounce off and begin dispersing in different directions towards my various family members.
That's disgusting.
All right. The dog hates the commotion and leaves without eating it. Thank God. But then everyone is backing up and making gross out sounds and trying to choose who the F is going to clean that up. I am trembling in disgust and convinced maggots are on me. The icing on top is my mum, who has had 4 kids by this point and has a weak bladder, begins laughing so hard she fully pees herself in front of the entire family on Christmas.
Gosh. Ew. I remember seeing just the glimpse of that story because like I said, I didn't want to read all of them.
Yep.
And that moment, I got that creepy crawly feeling, and then you reading that again gave me the creepy crawly feeling.
You feel like you have maggots crawling on you?
Yeah. Ugh, so gross. Oh, can you imagine though?
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, I would be fully traumatized.
What's the worst we've ever dealt with?
As far as nastiness?
Yeah.
I mean, Motley crapped in his crate the other night. That was pretty
true.
gross.
And Denver one night had complete diarrhea in 2 different places.
Yeah, which I also cleaned up.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So Kourtney has this weird thing. So usually when people are sleeping, their olfactory senses are turned off, like the sense of smell is shut off. And so, that's why we have smoke alarms and everything to wake you up. But Kourtney doesn't have that. She wakes up to smells. And so there was one time where one of the dogs had diarrhea. Well, it was Denver.
And he was a puppy, just to be clear.
But, Kourtney woke up to the smell of, dog poop. Mm-hmm. And she wakes me up. Well, did you wake me up that time? No. You might not have. I know last time you did, but anyway, so she wakes up and then cleans the whole thing, and anyway, fun little fact about Kourtney.
It actually happened more than once, but that was the only time where he actually pooped. But one time he farted, and that smell woke me up because he was in our room.
Well, in this house, he did one time. Remember?
That I woke up?
Yeah, right outside the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Because that one he did have, which was weird because he's, 3 now?
How old are you, Denver? Not that you can answer. I think he's turning 3 this year.
This upcoming year.
year.
Yeah, and he doesn't have accidents in the house, ever. And so when he did that, he must have been sick or something. And I think the reason I woke up to that one is because he had been whining a little bit before bed, and I thought he just wanted to play, and so I kind of ignored it, but I think subconsciously I was paying attention to him, even while I was sleeping.
Gotcha, yeah.
So when I smelt it, I was like, uh-oh.
It's that mother sense.
Yeah, maybe. With my dogs.
Yep.
Anyways, dogs are gross, pig ears are disgusting, and now I'm afraid to ever touch dog treats again.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
All right, let's get to the next one. So this one is from Second Powerful 2174. So this is a cute meat story in this person's family. So they said there's a few cute meat stories in the family. Starting off with the grandparents. In the 1930s, Liverpool, my granddad was in the Merchant Navy in port in Liverpool over Christmas. Pub landlord got chatting to him, and instead of staying on board Christmas Day, invited him to join his family, granddad from Scottish Islands. The person who typed this didn't type very well.
No, it's Reddit.
No
it's Reddit. No one ever uses correct grammar.
There he met my Nana, who was 15 at the time, courted her for 15 years before they got married. Cool.
Fun.
Well, she was 15, which, I mean, we'll overlook that for now.
Okay. Different times.
It was the 1930s, but the fact that he courted her for 15 years, that's kind of cool. Okay, moving on. So this is me, as in the person who wrote this. Late 90s, first year at uni. Came out of the shared showers in our flat wearing a towel that didn't cover much, only to come face to face with a flatmate's friend who had come to visit her. She was cute AF. I feel like Logan wrote this. I'm just kidding. All went out to student union that night with him, but most of the girls spent the night in a grump drinking around the table, while me and him spent the night on the dance floor flirting like mad.
Wow.
Oh, he was cute AF. I think I said she. So it's a he. Okay. Sat up talking till 5 a.m. Some of my flatmates wouldn't get the message and go to bed so I could make a move on him. Ended up giving up and waiting and headed to my room to sleep. Ended up giving up waiting and headed to my room to sleep, but dropped a kiss on his head as I went past and said goodnight. He phoned me a few times. Mobile phone's not an essential item in those days. And invited me to his housewarming about an hour and a half away. Went to the housewarming, but it was only me invited. That was pretty much it. Our mutual friend was pretty ticked when we got together. She didn't want to get caught in the middle when we split. She was delighted when we got engaged, though. She made a drunken phone call. When she made drunken phone calls in the middle of the night, her call got passed between the pair of us. Married 22 years now. Sorry, there was like no punctuation in that. That was hard to read. It's pretty funny, though. Married 22 years.
Yeah, that person is either from England, but my guess is Australia. They said uni. I don't know if English people use uni.
They do, yeah.
They do. Maybe it's from England then. I don't know.
Yeah,
whoever
I
it was.
think America is the only place that doesn't really refer to it as uni or university. We just say college.
Mm-hmm. You Americans. And your Fahrenheit in inches.
Yeah.
I'm
listen,
just kidding.
I get it. I get that we're weird, and I get that your guys' systems would be easier.
Continue. Yep.
Shh. Let me just admit defeat in peace, okay? But I personally don't know the other units. And so for me, Fahrenheit is easier and Myles is easier.
Thank you. I'm just kidding.
What's the other one?
Bad joke. What do you mean?
Was that it?
What?
As far as units.
Well, I guess this is universal too, but like ounces and cups and stuff like that, the difference. Liters and gallons.
Yeah.
You guys use gallons.
You don't?
No, we use liters.
You don't use gallons at all?
Not really.
I mean,
sure, it's maybe a unit of measurement, but I mean, not really beyond that. Like when you go to the gas station. Petrol station.
Your Australian
it's in liters. The price is in liters instead of gallons.
Oh, interesting.
And we don't have gallons of milk. We have liters of milk.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, what do you do when you need a gallon of milk at the store?
Liter. Or 2 liters.
Okay, how many liters is in a gallon? I'm about to make myself look really stupid. Or gallons in a liter.
Well, there's like 2.23
so there's
liters in a gallon.
Okay, so gallon is bigger.
Gallon is bigger, yeah.
Huh.
Oh, okay. So 1 gallon is equal to 3. 3.78541178 liters. If you wanted the exact. What was I thinking of? Something is 2.2.
Cool.
But anyway, I'm not going to defend myself on that. It's fine.
All right. Do you want to read the next story?
Oh, yeah. Is that on here too?
Okay. It's all. So it's just the next one down.
All right. Next one is from Reddit user Southern Snowshoe. Do you think they're from the south?
No.
Do you think they have snow down there? And do they wear shoes?
No. None of the above.
Okay. So it's an ironic name. I get it. All right. My father always enjoyed telling of the time during the war when he had his very first catapult launch from an aircraft carrier. Okay. Off to a good start. As luck would have it, Dad was first up. Everything was set, and the catapult officer was repeatedly giving the good-to-go signal. Each time Dad would decline the launch because the ship was heeled heavily and still completing its turn into the wind. Finally, the deck was level, and the wind was directly off the nose. Dad accepted the launch, and everything worked out, and after he returned to the ship, Dad was mysteriously summoned to see the skipper. Dad didn't know why, but convinced himself that the old man just wanted to slap him on the back and thank him for showing such good judgment and airmanship at the catapult. He couldn't have been more wrong. The way he described it, the skipper chewed him up one side and down the other. He said Lieutenant XYZ didn't give a crap if the ship is upside down and heading downwind. When I give the order to launch aircraft, you launch aircraft. Understand? Dad was excused and shambled away with his tail between his legs and his ego down about 6 notches. It's pronounced ego.
Oh, whatever.
Sorry.
It's pronounced ego. You got a Lego. Oof. What a story. The fact that he's proud of that story enough to tell it over and over again.
Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, like, from the sounds of it, this person's dad was in the right, but they didn't like that. Like, no, you need to listen to us.
Well, I mean, if he's in the
and
military.
risk your life, but still.
I don't think he's necessarily risking his life.
Well, maybe not.
They have to be willing to do things in, like, dangerous circumstances.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that Motley?
I think so.
Motley, you having a bad dream?
Anyway.
But yeah,
Have you ever had that where you've done something the right way and then been told off for it?
Yes.
Because you went against what they were saying was right?
Yes.
When it was wrong?
Yes.
Like what?
Okay. My wonderful grudge holding skills are about to come out.
Yes.
So
I love these.
Don't get too jealous. So when
Jealous?
I was in, because I have awesome grudge holding abilities.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I know, like no one can top them. So when I was in 3rd grade, I don't know exactly why this all happened, but our art teacher sometimes would let us come and sit in her room during our recess and help her like clean up, and then in return she would give us like candy and stuff.
Nice.
And I had never done it, but I really wanted to, and so one day one of the girls that was going to go down there was like, yeah, just come with me, like it's really easy. So I went. I spent my whole like 15-minute recess, which isn't a lot of time, but when you're in 3rd grade it is. So I spent my whole 15-minute recess like cleaning her tables, like putting away paintbrushes, doing all that, and I was so proud of myself. And we went back to class, and my teacher in front of the class chewed me out for not asking permission to go, and then made me sign a referral slip, which is like a pink slip. Mm-hmm. And that was my first and only one I ever got.
Oh.
And I was like, literally I was so mad. I remember like the reason that I like, because it asked for a reason of why you got a pink slip, and I put on the reason I was cleaning the art room. I was so mad. I was like, that was a good thing that I was doing. Mm-hmm. Anyways.
Did you have to ask permission before you started cleaning, or?
Yeah, but I didn't know that. I'd never done it before. And the girl who always went was just like, yeah, just come with me. I didn't know.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. This specific teacher was also just a really grumpy human being. Mm. I'm pretty sure if my mom remembers who it was, she would agree with me. She was very grumpy and like probably shouldn't have been teaching 3rd graders.
Fair.
Yeah, but I remember like just getting yelled at in front of class. And and I was very conflicted about it because I was like, what are you talking about? I was literally wiping tables. Like
what's the big deal right here?
I sacrificed the swing set for cleaning. Granted, I got a Tootsie Roll, but like, yeah.
Was it worth it? What'd that Tootsie Roll taste like?
Like rebellion and freedom.
Nice.
All right, next story. Oh, wait, did you have any stories like that before we move on?
Not really. No, not relating to being told off for doing something right. This is actually kind of a funny story. So we had an English teacher who was actually an English teacher, and she would always like, she was pretty chill most of the time, and she would like joke around with us. But then this one day, she was, because because we had to wait outside the classroom before going in. We had to wait for the teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And so the teacher shows up. I think it was like 10, 15 minutes late. So we're all just like awkwardly standing out in the corridor. And she finally comes, kind of looking in a rush, looking for her keys to open the door. And I yell, "Detention!" Because, they would give detention for people who were late to class. And so she doesn't acknowledge my comment until we all seated. And she's like, I don't think she knew it was me. But she's like, I don't like being disrespected like that and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm just like, it was just a joke.
Well, and she was wrong. She was in the wrong.
Well, yeah.
And if she were a student, she would have gotten detention.
Right. But the thing is, like, she probably had like a whole different thing going on why she was late. I'm sure there was a reason. I don't know.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
I love that. Detention. Okay. Next story. This is by Happy Witchy Vibes. This is another love story. How I met my significant other is fairly dull, but my parents had a good story. My dad was British and joined the Merchant Navy when he was a teenager. He spent the next 10 years sailing around the world as a ship's engineer until he fell in love with South Africa and decided to leave the ship and settle there.
We have a few Merchant Navy ones.
Yeah.
Fun.
And a few love stories. I found a few good threads on Reddit. Okay.
Nice. Thanks, Reddit.
They were specific, if you couldn't tell. Okay, so the next time the ship was at port there was a party for the crew, and as an ex-crew member, my dad was invited. Also, because the 60s were wildly inappropriate, the ship contacted a local modeling agency and arranged for all the girls to attend the party as company and, quote, eye candy for the crew. My mom was a photographic and catwalk model at the time, so she was one of the girls invited to the party.
Nice.
They hit it off at the party, but my mom was just assumed that my dad was still crew and would be leaving the next couple of days. She gave him her number for the next time he was in port, and he waited until the ship had left before calling so he could surprise her. They were happily married for 50 years.
That's so cute.
That's cute. Thanks, Happy Witchy Vibes.
Those were definitely happy.
And witchy.
And witchy. Which witch is which?
And vibey.
All right. Reddit user self-destruct. Thank you. So, Reddit user self-destruct says, here's one for you. Just happened last week. True story. All in caps. So I am fortunate enough to work in an office that consists mostly of officers and civilians. One of the civilians happens to be a retired colonel from the army. For the purposes of the story, I'll refer to him as John. Good name.
John.
We've covered a lot of Johns in in the past episodes. Anyway, so earlier in November, John approaches me and informs me that he and his family are going on a vacation in Europe and will need someone to watch his pets while he is gone, to which I agree. He invites me over for Thanksgiving with his family, and he showed me around his house. Just for more context, I am a single E3 over 700 miles away from friends and family.
It's just a rank.
What's that? Okay, cool. So fast forward about 2 weeks, John and his family are now in Europe, and I am watching over a dog and 2 cats, all relatively old. Oh. Everything is going well. It is a very standard 3-bedroom, 2-bath house since it's just John and his wife, mind you. I am getting ready for a morning run before I enter into the duty day. I have a habit of locking the door and then shutting it right behind me. However, this time I forgot the effing keys inside the effing house. You chose a lot of profanity here, Kourtney. I began checking every door to see if any of them are unlocked, and spoiler, all of them are locked. Oh, jeez. So I immediately call a locksmith, thinking it shouldn't be too hard to unlock the door since it's only the bottom lock that is locked. Fast forward about 15 minutes, the locksmith arrives. And let me just say this. I'm stationed in Midwest Texas, and I'm originally from liberal California. My only experience with anything relating to Midwest Texas was the cartoon King of the Hill. Nice. The mother effing locksmith looked like a real-life version of Dale from the TV show. As he begins to attempt to get the door open, I quickly realize he is doing no better than I would have if I had tried to get the door open.
Oh, jeez.
So we move to the back door, and after about 15 minutes more, I guess, of struggling with the bottom lock, he finally is able to cheat the door and get it unlocked. But of course, me, so safe, the deadbolt lock was also locked.
Oh no.
Long story short, this locksmith ended up having to drill through deadbolt locks of the doors of a house that isn't even mine. To make matters worse, he was drilling the second lock. He broke the drill bit off into the lock and now had to find a way to remove it before he could unlock the lock. Yeah, I know. I initially thought this problem would be resolved within 15 minutes. Ended up taking almost 2 hours. At this point, the dog is barking with anxiety and the cats have moved as far away from the door as possible. I ended up paying $125 for this guy to mess up 2 locks, but it's 100% my fault, so I don't mention his lack of frontal lobe. That's my favorite sentence ever. Where was I? Frontal lobe. And wished him a good day. Now I have 2 options to make here. I either A, call up John and give him the bad news then and there, or B, replace the deadbolt locks and leave a note for when they return explaining what happened. I opted for option B for the sole reason that I did not want to upset them twice. One for when they return on vacation and when they were on vacation, and one for when they returned. Go down to a local Lowe's to buy 2 deadbolt locks and replace them. On my last day, I make sure everything is in order, pets are good to go, and I'll leave them with a note with $100 and offer to pay for new locks should they not like the ones I got. Oh, that's at least considerate.
Yeah.
Later on in the evening, I get a call from John. I was obviously expecting the worst case scenario. He, no kidding, says to me, "You know what? You know what? Self-destruct. If you would have just called me, I would have given you the code to our shed in the backyard and told you where the spare key was."
Oh no.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. I can totally feel that rage though, like, considering the story was only a week before.
Right. Okay.
Anyways, this reminds me of something that happened with Logan that I bring up kind of a lot because it makes me laugh. But one time Logan sent me a Snapchat because he was helping the cat outside. My parents have outdoor cats, so one of them was mine in high school. And I guess the cat got spooked and jumped off, but like in the process scratched up Logan's whole hand.
Oh no. And
so Logan sent me a Snapchat of his hand and he was like, "Your cat." And he had some profanities in there. But it was so funny. He's like, "Your stupid cat jumped off my stupid hand and now it's stupid bleeding," and he just kept using the same word. I don't remember which word it was, but it was so funny. And
I'm sure we can guess.
I actually don't know if he. I know he used some profanity, but I don't know which word he repeated. But I have a screenshot of it, and every once in a while I'm like, "Hey Logan, you remember this?"
Nice.
So I'm sure in the moment that wasn't funny for him, but it was very funny for me, and still is a few years later.
You're a great sister.
I love you, Logan. Are you ready for the next one?
I'm ready for the next one.
This one I don't have a name for, so I'll just go ahead and read it. It says, "I guess I'll throw my own in because why not? My grandfather has many great stories, and one of them is about his big Swiss, Austrian, German mother. His father was a small French man, so he was lucky to have gotten her genes. Anyways, my grandfather was quite the little brat when he was younger. From slingshotting his brother's eye out to lighting his sister's hair on fire and stealing motorcycles. He wasn't even heavy enough to start. But there was one person who could put him in his place. One day, one of his brothers had enough, and he beat on him. Since my grandfather was the youngest son, his mother was not too happy about this. So when he told his mother what happened, his brother ran to hide in the bathroom. His mother knocked on the bathroom door, and he locked it. So she takes it off. Oh, she takes a hold of the door and rips it off its hinges. She places it aside and walks into the bathroom. My grandfather decided that was a good time to go get groceries."
Yeah. No, No better time.
My grandfather is a great man now. You could never tell he was a bad kid, and he is one of the most gentle and kind men I've ever met. But there is no denying where he got his size and strength from.
Nice.
The end. That's funny. Rips it off the hinges. That would be terrifying.
Can you just imagine trying to find like a little safe haven from potential punishment? Oh, well, almost definite punishment. And so you go lock the door, and then all of a sudden...
There is no door.
There is no door. All right, this next one also, there's no name tied to it. In 1969, my grandma was watching my brother, 2 years old, who was sick. Having struggled with his crying and fussiness most of the morning, she was relieved to finally get him to nap a little. Unfortunately, she lived fairly close to the airport, and the Air National Guard decided that it was a perfect day to practice takeoffs and landings. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, no.
Touch and go as they are called. Every 5 minutes, this big 4-prop plane would buzz the house and wake my brother up. It didn't take too many times until my grandma was annoyed. What does she do? She called the airport and asked to speak to the tower operators. My grandmother was a loud talking woman to begin with, but being mad made it much worse. Getting the tower air traffic controllers on the phone, she was screaming that if they didn't stop that damn plane from coming over her house and waking her sick grandson up, that she was going to get the shotgun out and shoot the tires off that damn plane. Oof. They didn't hear another plane fly over the house that day.
Dang.
Wow. That's gutsy.
I wonder, I mean, obviously they took her threat seriously, but I wonder if they thought she would actually do it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because that's, like, a huge safety risk, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of, like, I know this is, like, an extreme example, but that's kind of like when, public places get, like, bombing threats or gun threats. They have to, you know...
Take it seriously.
So I wonder if it's similar.
Even if it's a joke.
Yeah.
Like if you're at the airport, because, you know, they monitor everything going in and out of that place. My dad told me this one story of this guy who was, like, joking around with his friend over a text message, I think, and saying, like, oh, make sure, like, they don't find the bomb. He's like, oh, don't worry, it's, like, all tucked away. It was a joke, obviously, but they took it seriously and arrested him. So,
even if it was over text?
Yeah.
How would they have known?
I think I don't know how it works, because over the Wi-Fi they can monitor that stuff. They have these systems in place for a lot of things. They do it with, like, emails and text message going in and out, but they have, I guess, like, keywords that get pointed out.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, actually, that they can do that.
I picture just grandma with a shotgun against the whole Air National Guard.
Yeah. She'll do anything
funny
for those sleeping babies, especially when they're sick. Oh, the struggle. All right, next story. This is from Agent 1108. I was at my uncle's outdoor wedding when I was about 3 or 4. This random one-eyed cat found its way into the garden area, so I started chasing it. It went and hid under the sofa, so I tried fitting myself under as well, but I couldn't get my head in. Most of the guests thought this was hilarious. At another wedding, I was about 2. I don't remember what happened exactly, but somehow I ended up on the stage, and my first reaction was to remove my diaper. So there I was with my butt exposed in front of hundreds of people. My mother was so embarrassed she didn't even come to get me. I had to go to her. I get reminded of these stories often. That's adorable.
I just picture Harper doing that. I mean, we didn't have friends, so we don't go to weddings, but just like at a public event, she just gets up there, just rips her clothes, shows her belly button.
You can imagine her on stage. Belly button.
All right. Next one. Yancey Cal. One time I was home on leave, and it had been the first time I had seen my friends in a couple of years. We went to a movie theater drunk to watch Equalizer with Denzel Washington. Oh, that's a good movie. Every time he killed someone, we kept saying, "You've been equalized." I love it. The man in front of us told us to be quiet a few times. The movie ends, we all leave the theater, and we go to the bathroom. All the stalls are filled up except the last one. Me and my buddy go in the last one and start crossing streams. It's a thing. we lose it because we're sloshed, and in the process lose control.
Oh no.
We pee all over the floor. Who's in the stall next to us? The man who told us to be quiet. He waits for us outside of the stall and grabs our hair and literally bonks our heads together like a cartoon. It hurt a lot. He told us he'd kill us. Oh, okay.
Oh,
so we ran and
took
hid
a
in.
turn.
Yeah. So we ran and hid in the family bathroom for hours. This happened back in 2015. Ha ha ha. Merry Christmas.
Oh, jeez. Wow, that took a turn.
So
Crossing streams?
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
People don't actually do that.
It's a thing.
Okay, let me rephrase that.
Drunk
People don't actually do it sober. So
Drunk people do.
Say. That's funny.
Sword fight.
Oh gosh. Okay. So moving on. Just moving on.
Okay.
Okay, so these next ones are the 1 to 3-ish liners. So they're basically just like really short little snippets of a story. So we'll just go back and forth and read them. So I'll read the first one.
Okay.
My dad glued his lips together the same week he accidentally shaved off his eyebrows.
Nice. That'd be a cute
or
look.
Eyebrow. Yeah.
That'd
cute
be,
look.
Yeah, cute look.
Wait, how do you do both accidentally?
Well, I don't know.
Huh.
Maybe he was drunk too.
Yeah, maybe. All right.
All right. I left my dad's wedding early to try and smash my date at our family home. The whole wedding party came back and caught us in the hot tub.
Oof. Oof.
Awkward.
Oof. Okay. When my great-grandmother was born, around 1910-ish, her mother wanted to call her Anne, but her older siblings thought it was too old-fashioned and that she should be named something more modern. So they went with Mavis.
Okay.
Do you get why that's funny?
Because it was 1910.
Because Mavis is like the oldest name in the book, and Anne is actually a name that is currently being used.
And Mavis is not.
That's funny.
Yeah. Nowadays, you're going to see like, there are so many freaking names out there that are just bizarre. Like Absidy.
Yeah. I actually
ABCDE.
read the thread on this one specifically, and turns out Mavis, her name ended up being Mavis Anne. And a lot of people were like, can't wait until McKinsley with like 27 letters in it is called old fashioned or something like that. There were so many comments like that. It was really funny.
So true. All right. My dad tried. Oh, this is the next one. So it's not my dad. My dad tried to teach our dog to bring the newspaper in from the driveway. The first day he did it on his own, he got praised up and down for being such a good boy. When he scratched to come in the next day, there were about 10 newspapers on the porch with him. Dad had to go out and try to figure out which neighbors he took them from.
That's cute.
Oh, dogs.
I can just picture Denver doing that. Like, I'm a good boy, right?
Look at all these newspapers.
All right, next story. My cousin and his friends skipped school one day and hung out near a local trail. He fell in a river while they were screwing around, and he tried to tell his mom that he got caught in a sudden downpour. Needless to say, she didn't buy it, and he got in a lot of trouble. The end.
Cool. Have you ever skipped school?
No.
Rebel.
The thing is that I did a few times, but my mom always knew about it.
Okay.
So, like, she would call me out when I would just not be in the mood. But that didn't happen too often. And then when my younger siblings got older, she would be more willing to give them like mental health days.
Yeah.
That wasn't a thing when I grew up, but there were days that's kind of what happened. We just didn't call it that.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Just a sick day. No. There was one time, so this was in Australia, high school in Australia. And they had this rule. I can't remember exactly what the rule was, but you couldn't leave the school property, the school campus, for lunch or anything like that.
Oh, yeah, we had rules like that too.
Yeah.
Depending on your grade.
Yeah. Yes, it was depending on grade, and I think I was year 9 at the time.
Okay.
And my friends were like, "Hey, we're gonna go get some fish and chips for lunch. You want to come?" And I'm like, "Are we allowed to do that?" No. Sure. So we went, and then
I'm telling your mom.
Yeah, it's fine. Anyway, so the teachers, to prevent younger kids from going out off of school campus and everything, they would drive up and down the streets, and they caught us.
Oh no.
And they're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna go get some fish and chips." And they're like, "No, go back to school. Like, meet us at the office." And we're like, "I guess we should go meet them at the office." And so we went to meet them at the office. We're like, "Oh, we didn't think you guys would actually show up. You guys are fine." Like, we just, like, if you didn't show up, we would have given you detention or reached out to your parents or something like that.
Gotcha.
But, like, we went. We were responsible after that.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Rebel kid that ended up being good.
Yes, that's me.
My mom, when she was in high school, so my grandpa was the vice principal at her high school.
Mm-hmm.
And she would forge his signature. I don't know how she didn't get caught with this sooner. And maybe I'm telling the story wrong, so Mom, if I am, call me and correct me. But
she already called you Kourtney. It's too late for that.
Whatever. Dad jokes.
Continue. Sorry.
So she would forge his signature on like notes calling out, and this was back before, they really called home to check or verify.
Mm-hmm.
And she only got caught because they found the note in her pants pocket when they were doing laundry.
Oh.
And they were like, Becky, what's this? Anyways.
Moral of the story: do your own laundry.
Yeah, but she like also was really close with a bunch of teachers, and because they were close with her dad.
Yeah.
My grandpa.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Is it my turn or your turn?
It is my turn.
Okay.
All right. My grandparents were traveling years ago and brought home souvenirs. While they thought it was a vase or something along those lines, it was actually a bong. My dad, aunt, and uncle can't tell the story without laughing about it.
Yeah, I don't blame them. Can you imagine, like, your grandma coming home and being like, look what I found in Venice.
Look at this really nice vase. That's a bong.
Some of them are really pretty, though. Have you ever been in those shops that sell them?
We went to that record store that had them on the shelf that one time.
Yeah, and some of them have, like, the coolest designs.
Yeah. That's how they sell you.
Yeah. Do you want to smoke some pot after this?
It's not 420.
Oh, yeah, you're right. My bad.
It's 420 somewhere.
All right, last short story. This one I did credit. So this one is by Bad Tasty 1685. So making ornaments for gifts this year, and of course the wife wants to use glitter. We were finishing up, and I went to take the stand outside and hose off, because glitter. Chucked it into the yard without thinking. Accidentally glitter bombed my whole front porch. I feel like that's something you would do.
Yeah, probably. And then be really mad about it. Are you kidding me?
That's funny.
That would be my reaction.
Cool. All right, well, that's all the Reddit stories.
Thank you, Reddit, for supplying us with some stories this month.
We still do have the one listener story from Kaylee.
Yeah.
And it is your turn to read, so you get to read it. So this is from Kaylee.
All right. Thanks, Kaylee. This story is kind of gross with 5 S's.
Okay.
So it must be pretty gross. Sometime in the late 80s, my mom and her sister got in a petty fight. Nothing out of the ordinary, but it really set my aunt off enough to want to get revenge on my mum. So for 3 months, my aunt secretly collected all of her toenail and fingernail clippings, put them in a shoebox, and hid them in her closet. She did this until she thought she had enough clippings. For what? When she finally had enough, again, for what? When she finally had enough, she took the shoebox, went into my mom's room, and spread them all over her sheets. Ooh, the rest of the night, she acted like everything was normal. My mom finally crawled into bed, and she was so shocked to find that she was laying in old toenails.
That's disgusting.
Pretty gross. Anyway, when all was said and done, my grandpa asked why my aunt did it, and she said she couldn't even remember why she wanted to get revenge on my mom.
That's amazing.
Hey, but once you have a goal, I mean, go for it,
Yeah. I'm going to remove my crown as the grudge holder queen.
I was going to say.
Because I have officially been topped.
That reminds me. Yeah. That reminds me of from The Office, Angela. And she's like, my sister and I have been fighting for however many years. Like, we don't even remember what it is, but we're both too stubborn to something along those lines. That's what that reminds me of. It's like, I don't remember what the fight was about, but.
Yeah. Well, that was funny. Thank you for the story, Kaylee.
That's hilarious.
Really appreciate it. I hope your Mom is okay and got those toenails cleaned up.
Yeah.
If she didn't, that's gross because it's been a long time since then.
Yeah, wash your sheets, please.
Don't collect toenails.
Don't collect toenails. Ugh, gross.
Cool.
But that's a funny story. Those are funny stories.
Cool. So, thanks again, everyone who voluntarily and non-voluntarily what's the word I'm looking for?
Contributed.
Thank you. I'm tired. And so next month it'll be our first listener story of the new year. Mm-hmm. So if you have any holiday stories that you want to share or anything pertaining to the new year, maybe New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, share us resolutions.
Or if you have stories about your like drunk friends / family members, those are always funny.
Yes, we get a crack out of them.
I'm just trying to think of things that would relate to the New Year's. It doesn't have to be New Year's related. That was
New Year's kisses that turned out to be just New Year's kisses. No, I'm just kidding.
Have you ever had a New Year's kiss? Other than with me, obviously.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Cool.
Just you.
Yay. I think that's the same for me.
Nice. Knuckle bump.
Woohoo! Sorry to any of my ex-boyfriends if I'm incorrect on that. But I genuinely don't remember.
Are you apologizing for not kissing your ex-boyfriends right now?
No, I'm apologizing for misremembering. Hey, who knows? They're probably still in love with me.
They all are. Every boy in your history.
Yeah, because I'm perfect and I'm awesome.
Yeah.
I'm the one that got away.
You settled for me.
No. I married you for your accent and for your red hair. Come on, we've talked about this.
Yeah, you have low standards, though.
But we have the perfect child, so it worked out.
Yes, she's great.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end this here. Again, send in your stories.
Yes. The email to send them to is famdamilypodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget, please do.
Yeah, and I mean, I know how much you guys love our advice at the end of this, so my advice this time is just continue to do things in life that scare your family.
Hold grudges. And save those toenail clippings.
Yeah. The end. Bye.
Bye.